What's poppin' though? What's up, everybody? Forgotten Dream here, bringing you another Naruto chapter review. Today we're doing chapter 694. I think it's titled Naruto and Sasuke. Let me check right quick. Let me check. Yes, titled Naruto and Sasuke. Well, at least on the Manga Panda, you know, translations, the one I always read. And I gotta say, I actually like this chapter. It was quite good, and the first time in like ages and forever, we see Sasuke finally talk about his emotions. Something Uchihas never do, right? I know, right? Because they're fucking crazy. Anyways, move on. Like I said, it was actually an enjoyable chapter, even though all they did was talk, and Naruto tried to talk no jutsu Sasuke as always, and Sasuke being Sasuke never falls for it, which I like. And I also like this chapter because we finally get the explanation of what Hokage or what Sasuke's Hokage is to him, what his answer is to Naruto, what he means by "I want to be Hokage." It's not more so like a dictatorship, as some of us has speculated. It's more so as a well, I guess it sort of is like a dictatorship. I guess it's hard to explain. Basically, I get into that later. Basically, the chapter starts off where last chapter left off, was standing on top of the Madara and Hashirama statues in the Valley of the End, Final Valley, whatever it's actually called. There's different translations, so I'm not gonna go into that. But Sasuke tells Naruto that Hokage, his definition of Hokage, started from hearing Itachi's story, how Itachi had to give up his life, his family, everything just to protect, the Konoha village. And he goes on to tell Naruto what he heard from the first Hokage, that the villages were put together so that friends, family, just people in general could come together without having to kill each other, without all this hatred and destruction, so that there can actually be peace. But that did not happen, and because that didn't happen, Itachi had to put all this burden on himself, kill his clan, leave his brother, alone, just to protect the village that he loved so much. And this is, what started Sasuke's. It was started his hate, and now what turns into his want to remake the world. Now, I'm just going to read some of the text from the translation about what he said about Itachi, just because like I said, I really like this chapter and what Sasuke says in this chapter. He says he had to live in the darkness with bitter experiences. That the people treated him like a criminal, like a traitor, and he showed all these feelings by himself. But even so, he still chose to protect Konoha village from the shadows, from the darkness that he himself had to live in, which is amazing. And he goes to tell Naruto that it's someone like Itachi that should have been Hokage, someone that took all the burden and lived with it, who should have been Hokage. And this I guess clicks in Naruto, not clicks, but Naruto is just taking all this in, just being quiet, letting Sasuke finish what he had to say. He's just taking what all Sasuke has to say, and then he's going to retort, of course, because it's Naruto, and I get to that later. But so, no phone today. Sorry about that. But he goes to say what Naruto told him, that it's not someone who is chosen by the people that should be Hokage, but it's someone that is willing to take all the hatred, all the burden, without complaining. And that's what Sasuke Hokage is to him. And he goes to tell Naruto that he realized Itachi's action and his feelings, kinda, but he tells Naruto that Itachi made one huge mistake. Well, one mistake, and that's leaving Sasuke alone, and in the darkness as well. His words is, the one mistake he made was leaving me, his own brother, alone and in the dark. and I'm sure he did it to make sure I wouldn't be so full of hate. Like I said, it's just this chapter is interesting me because we actually see Sasuke's feeling. He's actually letting us know these feelings he's had inside him for like this whole time. After meeting up with Itachi, and we always wonder ever since he came back talking about being Hokage, what he was really wanted, what he really was thinking, what he really was feeling, and I really like this chapter because he's actually conveying it, something Sasuke never does. Only thing he ever conveys is hatred and dislike. That's all he ever conveys. So it's nice because in the same panel we see him clenching his fist, saying that he's not like Itachi. That he had a father, his father, his mother, and his brother, and that he didn't have anyone else he could call family growing up because they all were dead, and that he is alone. And because he's alone, and because he's been in this darkness, he can shoulder all this hate by himself. And that's what Sasuke's always been trying to do, is do everything by himself. And even more so now, he says he would deal. He's planning to deal with all the hatred, all the problems that the Shinobis have. Show them. He's willing to make all the judgments, the executions, all the decisions the world needs him to make, even if it costs him to be the hatred. That's what he really wants. He wants everybody to be united against this one common hatred, him, and that's his definition of Hokage. That's the revolution he wants. Although we all know the revolution he wants is the Naruto Revolution game, but not going into that. And as always, when you talk about hate, there always got to be some panel that says, hate will never disappear, and that's what he says. He says hate will never disappear, and because of that, he wants them to be, unified against him, as he wants to be the hatred, the darkness that they all unify against. And in one of the panels, we just see Sasuke looking down. He actually looks so sad, even saying this, even though this is what he thinks he wants. He looks depressed. Like, I know everybody make jokes about him because how emo he used to be or look or whatever, but I just feel sorry for him right now, I guess, because I actually like Sasuke as a character, to be honest, to be completely honest. But he tells Naruto, a person that could light the darkness, that plays all five villages, and one that could go through all that and survive, is one that needs to be Hokage. And he believes he is the person that can do that. And we see this is the same exact answer he gave the Sage of the Six Paths, Hagoromo. Hagoromo? Anyway, Naruto tries to talk no Jews to him again, tell him that, do you think everybody is going to accept this? Like, do you think this is what everybody wants? That they're just going to be okay with you becoming the main source of hatred? And Sasuke is like, I don't care. I don't care, bitch. He literally says, I don't care, so I'm not joking about that. He literally says, I don't care. Because he has power now. He said he has the power to do things his way, so he doesn't care what people think, what they want. It's all about Sasuke now. Sasuke's way. Speaking of Sasuke's way, whoever made that freaking Sasuke the Last Revolution mixtape freaking joke on the internet, thank you. That junk is hilarious. It's hilarious. Like his design from the new movie, he looks like a rapper for some reason, and they made him a mixtape off the concept art design. It's hilarious. Oh shit. And hearing Sasuke, Naruto, after hearing Sasuke say that he'll deal with everything by himself, triggers a flashback of Itachi and him having a conversation where he says that he'll take care of the war by himself, and that I'm sorry, that joke still, that mixtape thing still got me. And basically we get a flashback of the whole Itachi conversation. I'm not gonna go into that in details because my reviews are always too long. But I forgot that Itachi brings up Naruto's father, which is weird to me because how did Itachi know Minato well enough to say this, but I remember he's saying, "Your father Minato could only become Hokage because he never forgot about Kushina and his comrades." How do you know this, Itachi? How do you know all of this stuff? You were a kid. And not Sasuke, Naruto hits him up was the biggest lines like, "You think you can do everything by yourself? What about Kaguya? You needed me." Like, like, do you think you could have beat Kaguya by yourself if it wasn't for us? Us being him, Sakura, and Kakashi there helping them, and that triggers something in Sasuke because we get a flashback of him in the cave. After Itachi used Izanami on I'm about to say Kaguya, Kabuto. Speaking of Kabuto, do you think he's gonna heal? Like, is he forever in that snake skin mode, or? I like Kabuto's old design, but that's a tangent. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep moving on. Keep it moving. But yeah, like I said, this whole chapter is just Sasuke explaining his reasoning and what his Hokage means, and there's a whole lot of repetition, I guess, because the panel in this panel he's like his definition. I can't talk. He gives his definition of a revolution is that he wants the villages to no longer fall prey to darkness, because he will become that darkness. Like I said, he will become the darkness, the hatred that they all can unify against. And his words is, "I'll start with the darkness left behind from the past. This will be the start of a new future." And Naruto tried to tell them this, like, he tried to tell them that means you're going to kill the Telbis, and that you plan to kill the 5 Hokages. Like, he's really trying to talk no juice to him. I'm not gonna lie. And we get a not famous, but a quote we heard from Sasuke. We haven't heard from Sasuke in a long while. Talking about he is the one that will destroy the past. Because remember, he said that to Obito. Let's remember this, guys. When he did say that to, I don't know if it was Obito his Jinchuriki form or just regular Obito, but he told him that he can't destroy Naruto. He can't kill Naruto because it is Sasuke that the one who will have to destroy the past. So, good job to you, Kishimoto, in bringing that back up. And we get a whole lot of stuff talking about for Naruto, talking about that whole definition is, rich, hilarious, blah blah blah. You don't even know your brother's true feelings, yada 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 yada. Because it's Naruto and he always talks a lot. And I swear to God, and this is one of the last panels. Sasuke tells Naruto that this revolution will begin once I kill you, and that you'll be the final offering to my dead brother. Which is this is psycho Sasuke talking at this point. But it's weird. The reason I brought this panel up is because he's reaching out his hand to Naruto, and this reminds me of Kingdom Hearts. The intro where Riku is standing in the water with the the wave coming, towards him. He reaches out to Sora, and Sora runs after him. That brought memories of that, so I had to put that out there because you know how much I love Kingdom Hearts. My freaking channel avatar is Ventus, and this pains Naruto, and we get another. This whole chapter has a lot of Itachi flashbacks, which I don't have a problem with, but it's just a lot of Itachi flashbacks. And Naruto get a final Itachi flashback. I think it's the final one of Itachi telling him that I leave Sasuke in your care. That I leave everything to you, as everybody has been saying to him from this entire war. So even Naruto has a lot of stuff to burden. And he goes to explain to Sasuke why he's not going to just kill over and die for him, because everything he learned so far, everything he's gained, all the power, all the knowledge he's gained is from the people of the past. We get a panel of Lady Tsunade, which she's not dead, so I don't know why she's in the panel. I don't know what you really learned from her, Naruto, to be honest. We get Obito, Third Hokage, Jiraiya, Kakashi, Minato, and Kushina, in this panel, which is weird that we don't get no Nagato. Naruto, what's up with that? Nagato's like my favorite character. What's the fuck? Really? Really? You gonna throw Obito in there, but I don't get no Nagato? Really? Should have took your soul when he had the chance. Anyway, I get it's really this chapter is now that I'm rereading it has a lot of flashbacks more than I remember, and we finally see that the Sage of Six Paths is finally leaving after like what 2 chapters when he said he had to go. Like what the fuck? If you could have stayed, why didn't you stop this? The fuck? And we see Kakashi is technically panicking because he's like, well, he's not panicking. He's worried. He asks him what should he do? What can he do to help Naruto to stop this? And the sages tell him you just have to believe that there's nothing more that Kakashi or anybody else can do. That everything relies on Sasuke, and it relies on what Sasuke and Naruto will do in the future, which is nice. And near the end of the chapter, we finally see Sasuke admits that Naruto is like the closest thing to a best friend he's ever had. And let me just go over this panel. It's a flashback panel of when Naruto and Sasuke was talking to the Sage of the Six Paths in their afterlife, given after they gave him their answer, and how Naruto was going on a tangent about what Sasuke is to him, why he and Sasuke will be able to change the future and stuff. And he goes on to tell him that in Naruto's version, he tells them that even though they're not, brothers technically, that they're amazing friends, and that after this, he believes that they'll be able to be friends again. And Sasuke version was just when I was beginning to think that I was all alone after Itachi died, but I have to kill Naruto no matter what it takes. And this is where the sage asks him, why is Naruto? Why is it just Naruto you have to kill? Like, why is he so important? And we get a double panel of Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto's version saying that we're pretty good pals, because that's the answer he gave the sage. And Sasuke's version that we didn't get to see is he tells him that Naruto, that guy is the closest thing to a best friend I ever had, which is goddamn amazing coming from Sasuke, the man who just been so caught up in hatred, so lost in the darkness, person who's been rejecting Naruto ever since the Sasuke retrieval arc. He finally admits that Naruto is the closest thing to a best friend that he's ever had, and that's why he has to kill Naruto. And we haven't seen anything like this from Sasuke in like forever, since I think the first season when he had the chance to kill Naruto, but he didn't because he didn't want to be like Itachi and kill his friend. But we never actually had Sasuke admit that he sees Naruto as a friend, but not only as a friend, but as a best friend, which is just, like I said, it's freaking amazing. And the final few pages are flashbacks again of them in the academy, and they rush at each other to fight, and we get a flashback to the not flashback, but we come back to the real time where they clash. And in this panel, it says the friendship collides. And I just loved it. I love it. Like I said, it was a good chapter overall, in my opinion. Way more flashback now that I read it a second time. But I get they was there to, prove the point. Because Itachi's word really meant a lot in this overall series, in the ending. When he came back to talk to Naruto, it really means a lot. And not only that, this is the first, like I said, first chapter in forever that we ever seen Sasuke talk about his emotions, and that this is the first chapter where he willingly tells us that Naruto is the closest thing to a best friend that he's ever had, and that's why he has to get rid of Naruto so he can be alone in the dark once again and able to shoulder all this hatred and darkness. and that's just sat with me, I guess. Anyways, long ass review as normal, as always. I apologize again. If you like the video, leave a like, comment. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to my channel for more Naruto review chapters until the end of the series and other gaming related stuff as well. Leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the chapter, uh, what you thought of my explanation. If I missed out on anything, if I misspoken on anything, let me know what you thought about Sasuke's finally, admitting his feelings to, tell me what you think about Sasuke, finally seeing Sasuke's feeling, and what you think is going to happen from now on. I don't think this is gonna end up with him being talk no jutsu. I highly doubt it. Well, not highly doubt it. I want to highly doubt it, but we'll see in the long run. I'm Forgotten Dreamer. I'll catch you guys later. I'm out here.